Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Yesterday, we heard what the military said, and they said they will play a role in dousing the tension in the land caused by the agitation and the planned protest. The DSS said they've uncovered those who are funding through the back door. And the AIG, the Inspector General of Police, for the second time in 3 days, is speaking about these protests. Well, one thing that has come out of this, and which is for me stands out, is the issue of the foreign mercenaries. Those that the police, the IG has said, intelligence has shown that they're infiltrators coming to mount pressure on our civil environment in the country with the aim of causing trouble. But the IG, from what I've seen in the past, seems to have gotten a statement out to say, come, let us discuss your strategy and your operational, your logistics to your protest so that we can map out. I mean, I'm not sure I've heard that in a long time from any police officer. Well, let me allow the expert to speak here. I'm being joined by a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Wilson Inalagu, who is also a security consultant. Thank you so much, Mr. Inalagu, for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. First and foremost, how do you assess IGP Kayode Egbetokun? In 3 days, this is the second time he's speaking about this protest. Is it the pressure, or the man is just a good organizer? What do you make of what he's doing so far?
And I think when you have the kind of situation that we have at the moment, you've got to communicate with the citizens, the public. If you don't communicate, they've got to understand what is going on, the seriousness of the situation. And so for the Inspector General of Police to come out is that's part of a communication strategy. I mean, you've got to see that it says there are mercenaries, and if there is intelligence, so those who intend to come out for this protest must be very mindful that they don't become willing tools in the hands of unscrupulous elements. So it's so important that they've got to understand that.
Who are those people who will be employing and bringing mercenary to our country? Shouldn't we be finding out who it is and going after these persons? Because that statement is very far-reaching. That is a very critical point. Foreign mercenaries on our land just because of protests? Are we in a war situation or what?
Well, when people are disgruntled, they can go into any length. So we are not going to discountenance what the AIG has said, because he has got his 36 or 37 police commissioners, including the FCT, and he's got his intelligence wing. And of course, I believe they're having the Joint Intelligence Committee in the Office of National Security. So the IG is in a position to know. So you can't treat what the IG is saying with levity, but it calls for proper, we've got to be serious about it, but it calls for proper planning and coordination. And that is why the IG said, look, those who are organizing this protest, you come out. Because if you do not have coordination within the organizers and the security forces, you are going to find the situation of differences which could escalate situation. And I like what the NLC used to do. When the NLC is calling for protests, they write to the police, and then they even have meetings and say, look, these are the rules we are going to use. But if you don't define your mission, you don't define the routes, you have no idea of the number of crowd. The police, you leave the security forces with some challenge in planning for the protest. So what the Inspector General of Police is doing, that's what you will do, because when you are planning an operation, you've got to have the friendly forces. When you have the friendly forces, the other force, and then the other hostile elements that you think those include disgruntled elements, bandits, political jobbers, and the rest of them. These are people, so that when you are designing your plan is meant to address those concerns.
So AIG, one of the biggest fear right here is the experience of Lagos.
Yes.
In the NSAS. The only forensic lab we have in this part of the world was burnt down. Several BRT buses were burned down. A court in Lagos was razed, and all the court documents were erased from existence. And these are some of the fear that anybody will have. And there are those who will say, look at Kenya, what happened in Kenya and the aftermath of the protest in Kenya. And these are some of the issues that have been raised. Mr. Mwade Burua had come out and written to the security agencies and asking, rightly, to inform the security agencies about their plans on this protest. But the question as to how that organization to forestall any kind of breakdown of law and order, because the security agencies have also come out to say we have intelligence that some people are planning to rob private businesses to bring down public infrastructure. That is the fear. How do you deal with this fear, actually? I mean, for an average protester on one hand and for the security agents on the other hand.
Yeah. When people claim they want to come out for a peaceful protest, well, you've got to prepare to lead them in a peaceful protest. But you also got to take into consideration critical national infrastructure, because there are people that want to attack the prisons to free prisoners. There are people who may want to attack businesses and all of that. So in your deployment, in your plan, these are things you put you take into consideration. So you plan for them. And then people should know the consequence that when you are going for a peaceful protest, the police will be with you to go with you so that we don't have hired disruptors crashing into you to cause mayhem. So they will do that. And their deployment in that instance will not be a deployment that will be so intimidating. They won't. The highest they can carry is baton, and the baton will be hung on the belt of their uniform. They will not draw it, because once you bring it up, if you hold it, it is already drawn. So they aren't going to do that. But in doing that, you also coordinate with other agencies, because if the situation escalates beyond the capacity that the police and other civil forces can handle, then you activate the military assistance to civil authority or civil power, which is called MACA or MACP. Yeah. So that provision is always there. But beginning, the police, I believe, the plan would be such that the police will go with a peaceful protest, whether they want to deliver later or whatever. But in doing that plan, you also take into consideration critical national infrastructure. And those you seem to be leading, you identify them. And you ask, look, how many people do you anticipate? Oh, these guys here, are they part of you? And you've got to be mindful of going to hire. Because if you go and hire people who don't even know the reason you are protesting, all they think about is loot. So, and let me tell you, there are stages. And this is what the security forces are very careful about. It starts as a peaceful protest, and everybody is going. And then it gets to a stage, the hired disruptors, or those who want to cause different things, they begin to infiltrate. And while they infiltrate, it goes on, it never goes. Then it begins to get violent. It goes violent. And then once it becomes violent, what happens next? They begin to loot shop and other property. And then
you had said on one hand that we shouldn't be seeing live bullets.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario, batons and water cannons, if we have. I mean, I don't know if I have a feeling that Lagos have water cannon trucks, but I don't know if the FCT has the water cannon. Worst case scenario, I'm not sure they can unleash the canine units of the police, because the experience of 2020 October is seeing the heads of people and the argument and the debate back and forth. Did they really shoot Nigerians? Did they kill people? Who ordered the soldiers? And some of those issues, because yesterday when I saw the military, the DHQ, coming out to release a statement, I'm asking the question, legally speaking, should we be seeing the military coming out in a civil protest?
Well, you see, the Nigerian police force has primacy on internal security, and they work alongside the DSS and other civil forces. That is it. But there is a gradual process of the military involvement, and the military never gets involved. Even the mobile police does not get involved from the beginning, because the police take it that on the face value, you're having a peaceful protest.
I imagine that the mobile police, sorry to cut you, the mobile police is our own version of the SWAT unit in America.
Yes, the counterinsurgency, unit, the SWAT.
That's what the mobile police.
Yes, the mobile
so because
police.
I imagine that when things are breaking down, that's why you call in the SWAT.
Exactly.
So is the SWAT like the mobile police unit of in Nigeria?
The mobile police, they are let me say route disperser.
Okay.
When the situation, when you are deploying, you deploy with
the plain uniform,
with the black uniform, and they are the ones that will escort, will go with the
but
protesters.
They're usually armed.
They could be there. No, in that case, you just go plain and you are appealing to them. You lock up your elbows. You create a cordon so that people don't run into them, and you are going peacefully. Even if you have baton, the batons are not drawn. Because the moment you bring out a baton, it's like you want to use it. So even if you don't have the hook, we expect that they will have a rope or twine or something tied so that you have your baton. So the protesters don't have an excuse. Oh, the police hit us with baton or anything. The police, they are marching. And I think we should develop a situation whereby we have body-worn cameras. So when the situation escalates, people will know that the security forces did not provoke that situation.
Breakdown of human rights.
So respect for human rights. And I believe if the police, and I believe they'll be professional, the AIG is very calm. I saw him on television when he was, and I think there will be adequate briefing for personnel. And then the officers will know that for this sector, you are responsible. Should anything go wrong, you'll be held liable. So I believe the police, in handling any public order situation, they all have it at the back of their mind that it could be called to account, and that gives them to assure that they're even-handed in dealing with router situation.
This is how I'd like you to wrap up, sir. The possibility of the stretch, because the police is stretched already.
That's correct.
I saw, I don't know whether this is official or not, one of the Take It Back movement, attributed to the Take It Back movement, saying that there is a wire mesh leading to the villa, and they're asking the Minister of the FCT to remove the wire mesh, and that they might need to visit the presidential villa, and that they will camp at the Eagle Square, and they will do that all night. If the police have to mount surveillance all night across the country, they will be stretched in an overstretched already policing system in the country. What would be your final word to the average protester to be wary of? I know they should not be carrying knives. They should not carry any sharp object, because that could lead to any kind of breakdown of order. If you are a parent or guardian, what should you be telling your ward or your child?
When you are going for this peaceful protest, be very mindful that there are rules and regulations guiding this protest. You don't carry offensive weapon. At the most you can carry, in case you need to drink water, you could carry your water bottle to drink. But we are not expecting placards and all of those things. You will not be armed. If anybody gives you a weapon, anybody shares dagger, anybody shares machete for you, that person doesn't love you. But if you protest,
if anybody see any violent person, they should run back home.
Exactly. Thank you. And in that protest, if somebody is not part of the group, and somebody just comes in
as a stranger,
alert the security forces with you. And look, we don't know that guy. So what they must understand is that I believe the security forces will be professional, but they should not provoke situation. And the security forces, they should not have it at the back of their mind, because there is hunger. You break into businesses because there are procedures. You'll be arrested, and when you begin to cause arson, you begin to set fire, and there's no other way they can stop you. Lethal weapon may be deployed, but I know that's not going to happen. As much as possible, the police and other security forces are going to be even-handed in dealing with this.
Hussein Enalagun, retired AIG, thank you so much indeed.